What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let me get back to Iraq. Some things going on over there, looking pretty good. That's for dang sure. Iraq has been on the roll. I'm curious about these elections coming up. I am happy Al-Kadhimi is back in the race again. That makes me really happy. But there's some shenanigans going on when it comes to the election, as usual. Isn't that what's happening worldwide? Hey, you guys should be thinking about getting money outside of the system. And when you do, make sure that money is both gold and silver, because that's the only thing actually recognizes money. Yeah. You know who has it? Money Metals Exchange. So go over there and check out our friends, Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. For those of you looking for my address, there it is right there. And you guys know I have this alternative website over there. It's really growing quick. I'm trying to hustle with getting as many of those videos that you guys like up as possible because they're very informative. And yes, I know I've talked to some of you in the information in the news that you found out about the jabs. Yeah, it is scary. And I understand that. And I think everybody should be aware of that news. It's just unfortunate we can't share it. You guys know I have a Facebook group. It's free to join. It's called Pimpy's Investment Chat. It is the same name as the YouTube channel. Come on over here and check us out. The link is down below in the description. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So feel free to jump on by and hang out. Okay, what's going in there? It says a new statement from the U.S. administration about repealing the Iraq War Authorization Act. So we already know this. Biden already said it did it. It's done. We're moving out the troops. All is good. Again, it's funny when you get these individuals, these so-called, I don't know, what do you want to call them, militia people or whatever? Yeah, whatever. You know, these little groups of people, armed gangs running around, talking about how much they want to get the United States and the other military coalition forces out of there. But then they turn around and attack those people, which would only provoke them into wanting to stay and catch those responsible. Huh, go figure. Makes you start to wonder about who might be behind it. For the State Department repealing the 2002, that thing, will not affect our diplomatic activities, nor should it. There is a lot of business heading over in Iraq's direction. That's what we're looking for. You'll see what I'm talking about here shortly. Al-Kadhimi will give ministers the choice between staying in the government or running for election. As you can imagine, just like we have it everywhere around the world, there's some shenanigans going on when it comes to elections. He said the most important thing that the Prime Minister Al-Kadhimi spoke during the cabinet session that was held today, which was on Tuesday. There are complaints about the exploitation of state resources in election campaigns by candidate ministers or by officials who have influence in the state, stressing that there is no overlap in the executive responsibility in this government, which we always confirm that it is a government, services and actions, and we pledge to be impartial with everyone. An investigation has begun in 2 ministries, and other investigations will be open in the event that it is proven that there is exploitation of the state resources in this election. So for those who don't know what exploitation of the state means, let me see if I can give you an example real quick here. So a good example of that is like, you know, you're a politician. Let's say you are a senator. Someone out of, I don't know, pick a state. California. So you're a Democratic senator. And you're out there buying, I don't know, $700 sushi rolls, $500 steaks, staying in the most expensive hotels that, by the way, are managed by your wife. That to me is exploitation of the state. Using taxpayers' money to go out and have a wing ding of a time. And I don't want to name Swellwell's name because I think that's just wrong. My guess is he's got his Chinese spy girlfriend there visiting him while his wife's downstairs managing the hotel, allegedly. Anyway, so that's what we don't want to see, exploitation. So anyways, look, Al Kadimi's feeling good about the elections. I'm not sure why Ms. Blashart had mentioned the possibility of postponing the election. It doesn't seem like anything crazy is going on that would cause that. I am happy again, once again, that Al Kadimi is running. Okay? But like he said, they've gone a long way of weaning out a lot of corruption and still have a long way to go. And they're starting to see it rear its little ugly head back up again right before election time. They're going to do all they can to make sure there's no interference in this election. So hopefully they have better investigators than we do here. And here it is. Oh, yeah. Plus the United States, of course, of America, organizing them in the security aspect and building strategic relations in the field of economy, health, culture, environment, and energy. So we know that. We came back from, that is, the United States. So here goes the 8 decisions made by Al Kadimi that I think is interesting and happy to see. The first is the approval of the amendment of the cabinet resolution to become as follows. The Independent High Electoral Commission contracting with the Iraq Media Network Press to print the final public and private voter registration candidates and brochures, voter registration posters, and complaint forms. So good. Get into the good stuff. The Ministry of Oil employs a person from the families of the martyrs of the first or second degree for the fire incident at the hospitals. Remember that? They happen to happen right in where the coronavirus is. So they get priorities when it comes to jobs. Granting financial aid to the families of the martyrs from the hospital. So good. That's nice of them to do that. Third, the Ministry of Finance allocated a sum of $3 billion from the Energy Reserve. For this, you ready? Yes. To the football national authorities to cover the expenses contracting with the Dutch coach and his assistant owners and the establishment of training camps based on the provisions of Article 5 of the federal government. They put money aside to start a football team. And no, it's not football. It's actually soccer for us Americans. Fourth, approving the following. The Ministry of Construction, Housing, Municipalities, and Public Works send a direct invitation to the ministries, companies for experience in implementing similar projects. In other words, starting some jobs and building up the city infrastructure, including housing, municipalities, and public works. Good. Get people out there walking and rolling and back to work. Forming a committee headed by the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Finance and with the membership of representatives. What are they doing? Oh, Ministries of Justice, Interior and Transportation, Immigration, and Iraq National Intelligence Services, a maximum of 2 working weeks. Okay. Approve the authorizing the Ministry of Interior to contract the authority of implementing the the electronic traffic system, the BOT. So they're upgrading is what they're doing. You mean we have internet? Yep. Plus, you guys now have 586 computers. Only us old timers know what that means. Determining the share of Iraq's contributions to the shares of the Asian Investment Bank to a maximum 250 shares of the capital, of which 50 shares are paid and equal to 20%, or 200 shares equivalent to 80%, remain unpaid when summoned, authorizing the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to sign the application for the accession of the Republic of Iraq to the Agreement of Asian Investment Bank. Okay. So they're upgrading their banking systems as well, so they're more in line with the new digital currency. Approving the settlement, writing off the debt of the General Company of Maritime Transport owned by Ali Transport, and anyways, Jordanian dinars, and only 2,060,000. Okay, so that's not what it is. It's $2,695,000 dinars. Okay, so there's a little bit left over, and then they're all paid off. Good, that's what we want. Hate the way they write that out. The U.S. Ambassador Strategic Framework Agreement for the Development of Health, Education, and Energy Sectors, which all this is pretty much the same thing. Look, they are starting on their infrastructure, which is good. But I also find it very interesting. So we are supposed to be starting on our infrastructure. Iraq is starting on their infrastructure. There's a handful of other countries wanting to do something about their infrastructure. Now, I understand it's something that you got to maintain all the time, but I think it's interesting that they have such large budgets to tackle this. I'm wondering what's really going on. Anyway, it said the U.S. ambassador indicated the U.S. role in allocating funds to support reconstruction and stability in the liberated areas, pointing out that the security support will be able, or would enable, what will be to enable all Iraqi security forces to perform their task in combating terrorism. That's what we want. So, and that's just a replicated of what was over there. And then the central bank, of course, invites exchange companies regarding the banned names. So they need to work together on those who got in trouble before for money laundering. It looks like they're going to see what they can do to get things going back. But these are the exchange companies. And as you can imagine, it is exactly what we're talking about. Exchanging currencies. Anyways, look, it's good. I like what Al-Qaddafi's doing. I like the 8 decisions. It's about opening up the private sector, getting people back to work. We've been talking about it. The more we get away from oil, the more we build the economy, the more people go back to work. You know the story by now. Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. You guys have a great evening. I appreciate you tuning in. Hit the thumbs up button. If you are not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.